wherever you're watching us. You're welcome to Cactv News this morning. My name is Shegun White, but first, let's look at the headlines of the news. The CSU has released the records of Bola Ahmed Tinubu to former Vice President Atiku. And also, in the news, in the headlines, we have attacks coming on the Independence Day, claiming lives of people in Jos. Also, in the news, we have in the sports, we have Liverpool being fined £25,000 for ill discipline during their match, and also headlines in business. But now let's go to the news in full. The CSU, in a significant turn of events, has released in the United States has been compiled with a court order to release the academic records of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. This development follows an order from a United States District Court in the Northern District of Illinois. The court dismissed President Tinubu's objection and directed CSU to disclose Tinubu's academic record. The ruling stated Mr. Atiku's application is therefore granted, setting an expedited schedule for the completion of discovery, considering the upcoming Supreme Court of Nigeria deadline on October 5, 2023. Atiku Abubakar intends to utilize these academic records in his ongoing appeal at the Supreme Court, challenging Tinubu's victory in the February 25 presidential election. He sought a true copy of Tinubu's diploma issued by the CSU in 1979. However, CSU stated that they do not typically retain copies of student diplomas and were unable to locate Tinubu's diploma from 1979. Also, in the news, we brought you the news concerning the federal government's introduction of 35,000 naira monthly allowance for federal workers. In a recent development, the federal government of Nigeria has revealed plans to introduce a monthly allowance of 35,000 naira for all federal workers for the next 6 months, amounting to a potential total expenditure of 315 billion naira. This announcement comes after a marathon meeting between the federal government and organized labor representatives, resulting in a memorandum of understanding. The Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress (TUC) have agreed to suspend their proposed nationwide strike for a period of 30 days, starting from October 3rd, 2023. During the meeting, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Lalong, announced the government's commitment to provide a temporary wage increase of 35,000 naira for all federal workers. The agreement also includes provision of the distribution of high-capacity compressed natural gas, the CNG, buses for mass transit, an auto gas conversion program, and visits to refineries to assess their rehabilitation status. Tragic attack claims life of 8 Jos residents on Independence Day. A violent attack unfolded in Adu village located in the Bassa local government area of Plateau State. Gunmen targeted the village, resulting in the loss of 8 innocent lives, with 5 other villages sustaining injuries during the assault. The National Publicity Secretary at the Irigwe Development Association, Davidson Malison, confirmed this tragic event in a statement. The assailant struck the village at approximately 8:10 p.m., unleashing a barrage of bullets on unsuspecting victims as they slept. As the nation marked its Independence Day with festivities, the Irigwe community grappled with grief mourning the loss of lives and the continuous attempts to annihilate their people. At the time of reporting, the Plateau State Police Command's spokesman, Alabo Alfred, could not be reached for comment. Investigations into this tragic incident are ongoing, and authorities are working diligently to bring those responsible to justice. Our thoughts and prayers are with the affected families and communities during this difficult time. Violent incidents as sit-at-home enforcers target Simon Ekpa's hometown. In disturbing events in the Ezangbo community, the hometown of self-proclaimed Prime Minister of the Biafran government in exile, Simon Ekpa, suspected hoodlums enforcing a sit-at-home order set ablaze 3 vehicles, 5 motorcycles, and various valuable belongings. The culprits, numbering up to 8 and operating in a Sienna bus, also chased away market vendors and traders, proclaiming no more markets in Igbo land. A video circulating on social media captured the distressing sight of vehicles, motorcycles, stores, and other valuable items being engulfed in flames, prompting residents to flee for their lives. This marks the 3rd attack on the area by hoodlums this year. The Ebonyi State Police Command has confirmed the incident, stating that armed men suspected to be IPOB or ESN members carried out the assault. The police have deployed operatives to the scene to apprehend the perpetrators and restore order. Another tragedy strike, 18 lives lost, including a pregnant woman in Rivers State illegal refinery explosion. In a tragic incident at an illegal oil refining site in the Iba community in Moha local government area of Rivers State, at least 18 individuals, including a pregnant woman, lost their lives in an explosion. The horrifying event took place late on Sunday night while people were scooping petroleum products. Eyewitness reports that the victims were selling the product at the refining site when the explosion occurred, engulfing the area in flames. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) confirmed the casualties, with 18 individuals tragically losing their lives. The NSCDC reported that among the deceased were a fresh graduate and a lady who was scheduled to get married next month. Preliminary investigation suggested that the explosion was caused by a local refinery cooking pot constructed near an oil reservoir containing combustible materials. Former Nigerian Petroleum Minister Dezani Alise Madueke appears in court over bribery allegations. Dezani Alise Madueke, former Minister of Petroleum Resources in Nigeria, made an appearance at the Westminster Magistrates Court in the United Kingdom regarding allegations of a £100,000 bribe. District Judge Michael Snow granted her £70,000 bail subject to conditions like an electronic tag and a nightly curfew. Although she did not enter a formal plea, her attorney mentioned that she would plead not guilty. Her next court appearance is scheduled for October 30 at Southwark Crown Court, which handles serious criminal cases. Efforts by the EFCC in Nigeria to arraign her have been hindered as she left the country in 2015. However, the EFCC has initiated an extradition process to bring her back to Nigeria for trial. Now to foreign news a bit. Kenyan lawyer and activist Professor Patrick Lumumba denounces African talent migration as modern-day slavery. Professor Patrick Lumumba, a prominent Kenyan lawyer and activist, has strongly criticized the mass emigration of African professionals to Europe, America, and other regions, describing it as modern-day slavery. Speaking at an Independence Day anniversary event in Lagos, Nigeria, he emphasized that although the colonials left Africa decades ago, their indirect exploitation continues through the talent migration. Lumumba urged Africa to redefine itself, pointing out that the talent exodus is depriving the continent of vital skills and contributing to a cycle of exploitation. He criticized the trend of talent visas being offered to Africans, allowing their migration and contributing to brain drain from the continent. Lumumba also highlighted the importance of viewing Africa from its own perspective rather than through the lens of colonial history. We come back right now to local news. Federal government's plans to boost ICT and telecom access in Nigeria. The federal government of Nigeria has announced ambitious plans to enhance the technology landscape in the country. The Minister of Communications, Innovations and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, outlined the key initiatives in a strategic plan titled Accelerating Our Collective Prosperity Through Technical Efficiency. The major highlights of the plan include skill development, startup funds, rural telecom access, local availability of capital, and so on. The initiatives are aligned with the objective of fostering a strong digital economy by promoting innovation, entrepreneurship, and access to capital. They also aim to address challenges like funding gaps and the need for enhanced skills in the evolving tech landscape. So business news now. Diesel price remains high despite the VAT removal. Oil marketers in Nigeria have stated that the cost of automotive gas oil, diesel, remains over 1,000 per litre, despite the federal government's announcement that value-added tax on the commodity has been removed. The price of diesel was reported to be between 990 naira and 1,001 per litre. The dealers of the commodity noted that while they were aware of the government's decision to remove VAT on diesel, the reduction in price is yet to be implemented. They mentioned that they await further directives from the regulator, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, for a price reduction. The price of gas, 12.5 cooking gas, hits 12,500 naira. As Nigeria marks its 63rd independence anniversary, the price of a 12.5 kg cylinder of gas is now being sold as such to 12,500 naira. This increase comes after gas retailers raised prices from around 10,000 at the end of previous months. The president of the Nigerian Association of Liquefied Petroleum Gas Marketers, Olatunbosun Oladapo, had previously warned that the price of a 12.5 kg cooking gas could reach as high as 18,000 by December if the federal government did not intervene. However, despite the warning, the government is yet to take action. Nigeria and emerging economies require $2 trillion annually for net zero emissions by 2050, says IMF. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has highlighted that Nigeria and other emerging economies will need approximately $2 trillion annually by 2030 to achieve transition to net zero emissions by 2050. The IMF emphasized the necessity for substantial climate mitigation investment in emerging markets and developing economies, as they currently contribute around 2/3 of global greenhouse gas emissions. The report indicated that achieving the transition of net zero emissions requires substantial investment, particularly in the energy sector. The sum represents a five-fold increase from the current $400 billion planned for climate investment over the next 7 years. We go on a quick short break, and when we come back, we bring you sport news. Please stay tuned. It is still your Cactv news this morning. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now we bring you sports news. Good news in the sporting scenario as we mark our Independence Day yesterday with a win from Poroma in the golf section of sports. Yes, Philip Poroma of the IBB International Golf and Country Club in Abuja emerged as the overall winner of the 63rd Nigeria Independence Anniversary Golf event. He outplayed over 500 other players, showcasing exceptional golfing skills and clinching victory with a net score of 66. Poroma dedicated his triumph to Nigeria, expressing his pride in representing his country on the golfing stage if given the opportunity on the international scene. Now to football. Victor Osimhen aims for goal number 65 in Napoli's match against Real Madrid. Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen is on a goal-scoring spree for Napoli, scoring in consecutive Serie A wins over Udinese and Lecce. Now he is eyeing his 65th goal as Napoli faces Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League. Osimhen has been an essential player for Napoli since his record £70 million transfer from Lille 3 years ago. Napoli faces a challenging match against Real Madrid, with Osimhen seeking to equal Ahmed Musa's Champions League scoring record of 6 goals. Real Madrid considering move for Nigerian striker Victor Boniface. Real Madrid is actively considering Nigerian striker Victor Boniface as a potential addition to their squad to fill the void left by Karim Benzema. The 22-year-old striker, who recently joined Bayer Leverkusen in a £20 million deal, has made a significant impact with 11 goals in 8 appearances. Madrid is closely monitoring Boniface and considering him as a viable target for the 2024 summer transfer window, while their main target is Kylian Mbappe. Concerns over his contract renewal with PSG have prompted Madrid to explore alternatives in making Boniface a potential top pick. Nigerian legend JJ Okocha backs Chukwueze for success in AC Milan. At AC Milan, I beg your pardon. Former Super Eagles captain Austin JJ Okocha has expressed confidence that Nigerian footballer Samuel Chukwueze will succeed at his new club, AC Milan. Despite a slow start to his career with the Rossoneri, Chukwueze, who recently joined AC Milan after an impressive stint with Villarreal, has been gradually integrated into the team under Stefano Pioli. Okocha emphasized that Chukwueze's talent is unquestionable and he sees the 24-year-old as a great addition to AC Milan, predicting a successful future for him at the San Siro. Now back to the Nigerian Super Eagles squad. Peseiro snubs Musa for Saudi Mozambique friendlies. Head coach of the Super Eagles, Jose Peseiro, has released the list of players invited for Nigeria's international friendly games against Saudi Arabia and Mozambique. Notably, Ahmed Musa has been excluded from the squad. Musa, who recently missed the match due to reported injury, has seen limited playing time with Sivasspor in Turkey, which likely influenced his exclusion from the national team from the club. Fans on social media expressed varying reactions, with some celebrating his absence and others expressing surprise at his omission. Meanwhile, Peseiro handed a first call-up to Fisayo Dele Bashiru and recalled several other key players for the upcoming matches. And also, from the outcome of the MPFL yesterday, Sporting Lagos starts their journey with a win over Gombe United. In their first ever Nigerian Premier League football game, newly promoted side Sporting Lagos emerged victorious with a 2-0 win over Gombe United. The match took place at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos. Rivio Ayemvere and Clement Nantam were the goal scorers for Sporting Lagos, with goalkeeper Christian Nwoke saving a crucial penalty. The victory marked an historic start to Sporting Lagos MPFL campaign, and fans were present to cheer on their team in this memorable match. The FA for ill discipline after their recent defeat to Tottenham Hotspur. The Reds received 8 cards during the game, with Curtis Jones and Diogo Jota being sent off. The controversy surrounding Luis Diaz's disallowed goal also fueled the discussion. The PGMOL admitted to a significant human error in the offside decision. Liverpool criticized the PGMOL's failures, stating that it undermined sporting integrity. The financial penalty is automatic under the FA regulations for receiving 6 or more cautions or dismissals. Alright, with that we bring you some of the fixtures yesterday, the matches that were played yesterday, and the fixtures that will be happening today. We have yesterday, Fulham were at home with Chelsea, and for the first time Chelsea fans all over the world have now celebrated a comeback into the winning ways when Chelsea beat Fulham with 2 goals to 0. In the Spanish La Liga, Las Palmas and Celta Vigo had 2-1. In Italian Serie A, Sassuolo were beaten by Monza by 1 goal to 0. Torino and Verona played a 0-0 draw. Fiorentina and Cagliari, Fiorentina winning, Cagliari at home by 3 goals to 0. Now let's go to the fixtures for today. We have one Premier League match today and several other UEFA Champions League matches. The Premier League matches that we have today is between Luton and Burnley, and that will be coming up by 19:30 GMT, which is 7:30 night local time. Also, in the Champions League, the fixtures for today in the Champions League is FC Union is taking on Braga by 5:45. Salzburg and Sociedad will be dogging it out. FC Copenhagen will be taking on receiving Bayern Munich. Inter will be at home with Benfica. Manchester United will be entertaining Galatasaray, and Napoli will also be entertaining Real Madrid. PSV will be at home logging it out with Sevilla, and RC Lens will be entertaining the interesting Invisibles Arsenal. And with that, we've come to the end of the news this morning on Cactv. Thank you for staying tuned with us, and we promise to bring you some other of our interesting programs like the Morning Dew and the newspaper review coming up shortly after now. Please don't go away. Stay tuned to Cactv. We are committed to give you entertaining and happenings all over the country and the Federation. My name is Shegun White. Enjoy the rest of your day.